Om Sri Gurave Namaha. Ramana Gita Shodasodhyayaha. Adha Bhaktim Samuddisya Pruштः Puruषसttमः Abhashata Mahabhago Bhagavan Ramano Munihi Atma Priya Samastasya Priyam Netaradatmanaha Achinna Tailadharava Pritir Bhaktirudhahrita. This chapter is about bhakti. When questioned about the love of God, the most auspicious and the best among Munis, Bhagavan Ramana, spoke thus. Self is the most dear to all. Nothing else is dearer to a person than his own self. When the love of the bhakta towards God becomes like an unbroken, steady stream of oil, it is termed as bhakti or devotion. Abhinnam svatmatah pritya vijanati swaram kavihi janannapyaparo bhinnam lina atmani tishtati. Learned men, through their unbroken love towards God, realize that God is none other than their own self. Initially, the devotee regards God as apart from his self. When the devotion is ripened, he merges in God, which is not different from the state of self-abidance. Vahanti tailadharavadya priti paramesware anichatopi sa buddhim swarupam nayati dhruvam. Love for God, flowing like a steady stream of oil, will inevitably lead the seeker to the self, with or without the seeker's desire for that state of self-abidance. Parichinnam yadatmanam svalpagnyam chapi manyate bhakto vishayirupena tada klesha nivruttaye vyapakam paramam vastu bhajate devatadiya bhajasya devata buddhya tadevam te samashrute. Initially, a bhakta or devotee may commence his journey of devotion by considering himself inferior or separate from God. He prays only for the deliverance of his suffering. But as the devotion ripens, he will attain the Supreme Self. Devataya narasreshtha nama rupa prakalpanat tabhyam tu nama rupabhyam nama rupe vijeshyati. Names and forms are superimposed on the self, and thus worship of gods are symbolic. In due course, these names and forms become aids to the bhaktas by helping them to transcend the name and form of God and remain as the pure self. Bhaktau tu paripurnaya malam sravanamekada jnanaya paripurnaya tada bhakti prakalpate. For a matured bhakta, listening to truth just once is enough. Such ripened devotion will instantly confer upon the bhakta the true knowledge of the self. Dharavyapetaya bhakti syavichinneti kirtyate bhakte parasya sahetur bhavatiti vinirnayaha. When the devotion of the bhakta is not steady like the flow of oil, it is termed as intermittent bhakti or devotion. However, Though intermittent, such a devotion leads the devotee to the state of supreme devotion. कामाय भक्तिं कुर्वाणः कामं प्राप्याप्य निर्वृतः शाश्वताय सुरवायान्ते भजते पुनरीश्वरम्. The devotee may start worshipping God for the fulfillment of certain desires. However, such worship will continue even after the fulfillment of such desires. His devotion for God ripens and he will desire only for eternal happiness. Bhaktihi kama sametapi कामाप्तौ न निवर्तते श्रद्धा वृद्धा परं पुंसि भूय एवाभिवर्धते. The devotion towards God for the fulfillment of certain desires will not end after the attainment of such a desire. Instead, it will lead to the development of faith in the Supreme. वर्धमाना च सा भक्तिः काले पूर्णा भविष्यति पूर्णया परं या भक्त्या ज्ञानेनैव भवन्तरेत्. Purna Jnana leads to liberation. Likewise, Purna Bhakti leads to liberation as well. Initial devotion towards God will culminate in the development of supreme devotion to the Divine. The devotee ultimately merges in God, who is but a symbol of the Self. Iti SriRamana Gita Subrahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Ramanante Vasino Vasishthasya Ganapate Rupa Nibandhe Shodasodhyayah.